What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Vinegar Syndrome review. As I said in the last review, Halloween is quickly approaching, or I should say October is quickly approaching, and there's no better time in the year to be watching horror films. And I am going to be talking today about Cementerio del Terror, or Cemetery of Terror, also known as. This is a Mexican film directed by Rubén Galindo Jr., and he directed Ladrones de Tumbas, which I reviewed prior to this, and it's on the channel. And this one was released in 1985. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is Rubin's first film. And he was born in Mexico City and is from a family of directors, so he has the whole like education on it, family background on it, and very very clearly a horror fan. With a practical horror fan especially, which is exactly what I am. Is all about the practical effects, all about the intense gore gags, the detailed gore gags, and all of that. Cementerio del Terror, you will have to read, by the way. This doesn't come with a dubbed version, as it shouldn't, because watching foreign films with subtitles is the way to go. And it's absolutely worth it. Like, just watch the film for its atmosphere. If you absolutely don't want to read subtitles, just it's so worth it for the ride. It's amazing. It doesn't have that big of a plot. Both these films don't have like I didn't take a shit ton of notes because they're very simplistic in their plots. Now they do have one thing Ruben I notice he likes to do is have multiple plots going on at the same time. He plays out his films like a book would play out, where you have plots kind of intertwining with each other, and I love that, in cinema and in reading. So what we have going on here is there's a murder at the beginning of the film of this young woman, and this killer is chasing this girl around an apartment. I'm pretty sure she gets killed, but he gets killed by the local law enforcement, and these police officers who gunned him down are basically waiting to cremate him. Now we have these kids that want to throw a party at this abandoned house, and they invite a bunch of friends. They're all going there to drink and have sex and do what kids do, and they one of them finds, like, I'm guessing, the Book of the Dead, and I am guessing that this took a lot of inspiration from The Evil Dead, because there's this book that completely resembles the Necronomicon, and he starts reading it, and he starts like realizing that this is in Latin and this is a book of the devil, whatnot. So he comes up with the brilliant idea, because I guess this is what some people like to do for fun. He wants to get his friends together to steal a body from the morgue and raise it from the dead. Not usually anything that I've ever done on a Saturday or Friday night in my life. But hey, who knows? I'm young. I might just decide to go raise the dead someday if the mood strikes me. Who knows? Uh, it's just such a ridiculous plot. But anyways, they go and they do it and they find this body, but they don't realize that it's this body of this killer that murdered this woman. And apparently this killer was possessed by the devil. So when this person is raised, he starts to create more havoc, and kind of the movie starts to take a little bit of a slasher territory. But in the third act, the big thing that happens in this movie is the dead rising from their graves, because apparently this maniac killer who was possessed by the devil has the ability to have zombies rise from the graves. And I'm not kidding, this is probably one of the best zombie sequences that I've seen in cinema history. And that's saying something, because I mean, you got such classics like Night of the Living Dead, you've got your Lucio Fulci films like Zombie, fucking The Beyond, There's just a slew, man. I mean, even Plague of the Zombies is fantastic with its graveyard scenes and lure and atmosphere and zombie look. But man, this one might just take the cake as number one. This is so amazing in the third act. There is this scene where, I mean, for 5 seconds, it's 5 seconds of glory, okay? There's a tomb, and like there's a door that you would see in like a classic 40s horror movie with a cross on it kind of thing, like a hollowed cross where you can see through it, and then the door closing the tomb. And the fucking door falls, and then there's fog and a red light. Okay, a red light that makes the fog glow while a zombie comes out of it, and then you have your score, which is just an organ, doo, like this, like these six key chord thing, and it's just so gothic, and it's so rich and dense with atmosphere. It's the most glorious horror scene in a movie that, like, if it wasn't for fucking Vinegar Syndrome, the amazing company that it was, that I would have never heard of this film or the fucking other one, Ladrones de Tumbas. Like, it's a shame. It's fucking, it's so unacceptable that these films are so forgotten, and then Vinegar Syndrome comes along and gives them like the best treatment ever. I mean, like, I'm telling you, this is like the most drenched in zombie horror that you could find. I can't recommend it enough. And then you got the opposite English cover, Cemetery of Terror, and you got like, I mean, I'm gonna drop this shit. This isn't even like that's a pretty sturdy ass slipcover by the company. It's really really good. I'm also gonna show the alternate cover of Ladrones de Tumbas, which I should have in the last review, but I forgot to. So here it is. This cover doesn't doesn't do this film justice. Okay, this is what you're getting from this film. This is not what you're getting from this film. This looks like an action movie from the '90s. Okay, this looks like some kind of like cheap knockoff of fucking Lethal Weapon or some shit. It's not that kind of movie. It's a pure horror movie with a lot of axe murders. But yeah, that was last review. I just wanted to show the cover. Cementerio del Terror is such a fucking amazing supernatural horror thriller, you could say, as well. And it's just crazy, crazy good stuff. Some humor placed in like really, really in like intelligent moment, like humor in good spots is what I'm getting at. So there's a lot of that as well. Um, and it's beautiful. I love the whole idea of like raising the dead in general, and there's another plot point going on at the same time as these kids are having their party, where these little kids are basically wanting to have a little adventure of their own, and their big idea is to break into a cemetery, and they break into it at the wrong time when the dead start to rise, and then they meet up with the guys who are having the party because they start banging on people's doors, and they bang on the door of this house where these kids are partying and slowly being killed one by one. So they all gather together, and then like I was saying before, how the stories kind of intertwined with each other, and really, you know, deliver for like a simple but effective plot, and just a good, fun, cheesy, corny time, you could say. So I have nothing but positive things to say about this. 4 out of 5, just like the last one got. So both of these films get 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd for me. And do I have anything else to say about Cementerio del Terror? He has another film too that I'm not going to be reviewing right now, but I think it's Demensis Octurias or something like that. Vinegar Syndrome also released it, so I'll be looking at Rubén Galindo Jr.'s entire filmography, that's for sure. Both of these come with great special features. This one has commentary, two commentaries, Digging Your Own Grave, an interview with Rubén Galindo Jr., South of the Border Horror, with René Cardona III, and reversible artwork, which Vinegar Syndrome pretty much always comes out with. So you can switch back and forth on your artwork, and I really like that little touch that they do, as well as other companies, but they do a really good job with theirs. I will mention a scene where this girl is opening a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, and it makes the weirdest sound effect. Like, you would think that a cork goes, thoop, but this bottle makes like a beep. I'm not even kidding. It's like, boo! It's really fucking weird. I had to rewind it and listen to it again. I'm like, does this director or editor know what a champagne bottle opening sounds like? It literally is like, boo! It's so fucking weird. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that because how can I forget that little tidbit of Cementerio del Terror. Anyways, go check it out. I can't recommend this shit enough. It's not shit. It's amazing. And for the Halloween season, I mean, you watch this in October, I'm telling you, this holds some of the best fall and spooky atmosphere that you can get in any film ever. So do not miss out on this one and go find it somewhere. I don't care where you find it. Vinegar Syndrome preferably, but I don't give a shit where else you find it. You can buy this shit somewhere, or a friend has it, or you borrow it somewhere, you can stream it somewhere. Just fucking do it and take my word for it. Pay the whatever $3-4 that it is to stream and check it out if you like cult cinema especially, and don't miss Cementerio del Terror or Cemetery of Terror. Yeah, that's what I got on it. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews, and I'll be back with more soon. Check out what's on the channel, subscribe if you're interested, and until next review, take care and cheers. See you guys.